Tommy V in Michigan. He was on fire this morning.
Okay, thank you, Tommy V in Michigan. Yes, sir. If you share my prayers.
Tommy V's on. Yeah, we'll jump over there.
Tommy V doing great stuff over there.
What's your name, sir? Mr. Lucas? In relation to Frank Lucas? All right, case number 220-448-2401. Precinct Michigan versus Rondell Lewis. Appearances, please.
Samuel A. Ragland for the people, Your Honor.
Jessica Shab on behalf of Mr. Lewis. I'm sorry, Lucas, who is formal reading, understands his constitutional rights and stands down.
For the not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Lucas, is this a capious bond or he's never been arraigned?
I have it as never been arraigned.
Okay. All right, court of not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Lucas. Arguments of bond, Mr. Ragnar.
People are asking for $25,000 cash surety bond. He's able to post bond.
20. Hold on. What are you asking for?
$25,000 cash surety.
Okay.
GPS tether, home arrest, different location. The defendant asked the woman for sex. He was visiting. She said no. He threw a pot at his head in the head.
Mr. Ragnar. This is a 3-year-old case. Do you have any indication that the defendant and the complaining witness have been in contact with each other?
Yeah, I have this case as April 24th, 2024. Rondell Lucas? Or do I have the wrong Lucas? You said Frank. I don't know. I know who Frank Lucas is, or was.
Mr. Ragnar.
Yes.
Rondell Lucas. Frank Lucas is dead.
I know that, Your Honor. But you know what? My report, Randall, I have the same name, and I have a complaint in investigator's report, all from 424, charged with assault, charged with.
This is a 2020. This is a 2021 case.
Well, maybe this is a more recent.
Are the charges aggravated assault?
Charges are intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder. Upon Lizzie Thompson.
That's not what I have.
No,
I don't have it either, Mr. Ragnar. Can you? I have a 2001 case.
Well, Your Honor, I don't have the information for 2001 case. All I have is
2021.
This 2024 case.
Your Honor, it's allegedly from June 21st, 2021, charged as an aggravated assault misdemeanor, of maximum penalty 1 year. We're not aware of any incidents between the parties in the years that have passed, or any capious history, or any encounter with the police. He's 62 years old, not on probation or parole. He is a veteran of the Army. He is trying to get treatment, Your Honor. He understands he needs to make it to all of his court dates, respectfully asking the court to consider a personal bond.
All right, given the age of the case, haven't heard the argument, $10,000 on a personal bond. There's no allegations of any contact in the past 3 years. No contact with Ms. Walker, the complaining witness. Pre-trial, June 24th, in front of Judge Bryan. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
24 hours later.
So your full name?
Is it Mr. Lucas? Rondell Lucas? Is that you, sir?
That's me.
Thank you. All right, thank you. People versus Rondell Lucas, counsel.
Lisa Coyle appearing on behalf of the people.
And Ryan Murad, BA 3665, on behalf of Mr. Rondell Lucas, we waive the reading. Mr. Lucas stands mute. He's been advised of his rights.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived. Enters a not guilty plea on Mr. Lucas's behalf, and I'll hear positions as to bond, please.
Your Honor, the people in this matter are asking for a $25,000 cash bond, tether house arrest. Mr. Lucas was arraigned yesterday on an aggravated assault. This is a different victim in which a $10,000 personal bond was set. In this matter, he is alleged to, they don't have any relationship together. They appear to have rent separate rooms. He allegedly confronted her to have sex while she was cooking. He then threw a cooking pot at her, choked her. She did lose vision and briefly lost consciousness. She was taken to the hospital. The defendant was made several threats himself at the hospital to the nurse and the doctor that he wanted to kill himself and others. Also, the complainant has not been able to be contacted at this point. She has not returned to the home based on what occurred since that date of the assault, Your Honor. This is highly assaultive. He has now 2 assaults on 2 different women. Your Honor, I am asking for that high cash bond because by his own words, he's a danger to himself and others.
What was the charge in the case he was arraigned on yesterday?
Aggravated assault.
Thank you. Meaning resulting in significant injury to someone or with a weapon. Okay. All right.
So, Judge, on behalf of Mr. Lucas, a couple of things I just wanted to point out. It doesn't look like the complainant was the one who went to the hospital. Looks like they refused to be taken to the hospital, but Mr. Lucas, according to the report, was taken to the hospital. He wants the court to know that he's 62 years old. He's a life resident here in the state. And I don't see any felony convictions on this report. He talked to us about an old case from 1990. It was, I believe, an arson or something along those lines that's been dealt with. Judge, but other than that, he wants the court to know he's relying on his Army pension. He's a veteran of the U.S. Army. He also wants the court to know that he takes 9 to 10 medications daily and has cancer. Indicates that he's not received his medication. Judge, most importantly, it sounds like the complaining witness is moving out or unable to be contacted, but he's prepared to move out as well. He wants the court to know he's refuting the allegations. I don't have any assaultive criminal convictions. I do have somebody like Mr. Lucas who, looking at the GBH and FA charge, with regard to the FA, it doesn't appear that any firearms were used with these allegations. I'd ask for a personal bond and no contact. I don't think these parties have any intimate relationship or any reason that would have them contacting each other. Looks like they're both moving out, and it even looks like the prosecution may not have a successful case if they're not able to contact that complainant. So I'd ask for personal bond given all of that.
So, my concern here is actually that he doesn't have an intimate relationship with this individual, and that I'm hearing he was arraigned on an act of violence against another individual, a different individual, just yesterday. That starts to cause me concern about just random members of the community and what safety risk might be posed to them. That is, my concern is then buttressed by the statements of third parties that he has made threats to kill himself and others. That gets to be very concerning when we have, statements from third parties that make it sound like a person has gotten to a point where they don't feel like they have anything to lose and maybe committing active violence in that mind frame. Then it gets really, really scary in terms of safety to the community at large. So because of my concerns for safety of the community, I am going to set a bond, a cash bond in the amount of $25,000 cash. There will be a bond review hearing on May 1st. For an affordable bond review at 9 a.m. Then we have probable cause conference set for May 8th at 8:30 a.m. Preliminary examination set for May 15th at 8:45 a.m. The latter 2 in front of Judge Jefferson. All right. No contact with the complainant if he's able to make the bond. No verbal contact, no written contact, no contact through third parties or social media. Any attempted contact would be considered a violation of the conditions of the bond. Thank you.
Judge, before the court concludes, if I could just add, I wasn't present yesterday, but I had the chance to look up that case that he was arraigned on. I don't know if it's going to make a difference to Your Honor, but the date of offense on that matter was June of 2021, and that was a not in custody warrant that wasn't signed until 2024. I don't know if that makes a difference to you, but I just found that information and wanted to put it on the record.
Thank you. All right, give me a moment. I'm going to leave bond as is. Doesn't sound like, I mean, I'm going to leave bond as is. Thank you for the update as to the information. Given the nature of that allegation, aggravated assault resulting in injuries, I am going to keep bond as is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Waiting on the female camera.
You're having trouble with the female camera?
No, I'm waiting there right now for them to get somebody to put our client in front of him.
Okay, they're ready. Defense counsel is ready on the female side if anybody's within earshot and can do anything about it this time. Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Lucas. You're all done.
Upstairs, I'm sitting on the bench. Step man right, so you know.
Juan, Jose Aruma.
All right, Mr. Aruma, good morning or good afternoon. People versus Juan Jose Aruma, counsel.
Lisa Coyle appearing on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
And Ryan Murad, PA 3665, on behalf of Mr. Juan Aruma. We waive the reading. Mr. Aruma stands mute. He's been advised of his rights.
Thank you, counsel. Court notes formal reading has been waived. Enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. In terms of bond, I will hear arguments as to bond.
Your Honor, I know this is a non-assaultive case, but I'm going to be asking for $50,000 cash tether house arrest, and for the following reasons. He has 3 pending felony warrants. He has 2 fleeing and elude, 1 RCSP motor vehicle. The fleeing and elude, I'm not going to say the case numbers, but it happened on November 22nd, 23, also on November 8th, 23, and the RCSP happened on July 23. On case number, and I'm going to say this one, this is the RCSP, a $22,000 personal bond was set in July of 23. He capious on August 9th of 23. There's a $5,000 cash surety bond set by Judge Jefferson. He also has 2 pending warrants under review at the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. These are both matters in which the defendant fled from officers on a traffic stop, one occurring on 10/13 of 23, the other one occurring on November 9th of 23. He also has 46 outstanding traffic warrants out of Detroit, 36th District Court, 6 fugitive traffic warrants as well. Dearborn has multiple stolen vehicle cases in which he is the main suspect and has fled from the officers. There have been multiple joint operations by police departments attempting to apprehend this defendant without success until now. And for this reason, Your Honor, the people note he only has, as far as a criminal history of 2021 CCW that was undertaken under HIDA. But Your Honor, based on this, it is a continuous motive and evidence of flight in every single case. Your Honor, he also, in this RCSP case, he admitted that he stole the cars to the officer. Your Honor, I'm asking for that high cash bond tether house arrest because of efforts that's made by multiple police agencies to apprehend this defendant, and that he continues not to come to court when he has pending matters, and also he has future pending matters for fleeing and elude, Your Honor. And based on that, I'm asking for that high cash bond.
And the amount of the bond, one more time, please, Ms. Coyle.
$50,000 cash.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Marat.
Thank you, Judge. Before I address bond, are we arraigning Mr. Arambula on 3 matters today, or just the 1 matter that's on the list?
I only have one file for him in front of me, and that is the
Okay.
fleeing and eluding. Yeah,
Got
from
it.
November 23. They have noted in the investigator's report that there are 2 other cases pending.
Okay. So, Judge, on behalf of Mr. Arambula, he's 22 years old. The people are correct. There's no assault of criminal history. There's 1 possession of a firearm case, prior conviction that he has, but nothing else that I'm aware of. Judge, he wants the court to know that he's scheduled to start on Tuesday, April 30th at Bransco Construction. I hear the prosecutor's concern in their argument. The only thing I would add, Judge, is if the court is going to, consider a bond, and ask the court to consider a tether instead of any sort of cash with regard to Mr. Arambula. Again, it looks like everything's a vehicle offense. I think the court can accomplish anything it wants with the GPS and any sort of confinement in lieu of cash bond. So that's what I'd ask for, Judge.
All right, thank you. There's really nothing to convince me that a person who is accused of continuously running from police, driving away from police, is going to keep a tether on just because I put it on him or order it put on him. He seems to be making every effort to avoid answering for his behavior. And I almost never give a high cash bond with a non-assaultive offense based upon flight risk. But here, there's a capious history. There are numerous cases pending involving flight from police, allegations of flight from police here. I do think it's necessary to keep Mr. Arambula in custody to have him answer to these allegations because he doesn't seem to be willing to do it otherwise. So bond is set at $50,000 cash. If he's able to make the bond, GPS tether with full home confinement is required. And there is to be no driving as a condition of the bond until a judge says otherwise. There will be an unaffordable bond review hearing. That will be scheduled for Wednesday, May the 1st. So May 1st, 9 a.m. for unaffordable redetermination hearing. Then May 8th for probable cause conference at 8:30 a.m. Preliminary examination, May 15th at 8:45 a.m. Thank you. Those are in front of Judge Jefferson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
24 hours later.
Juan, Jose Arambula.
Hello again, Mr. Arambula. All right, People versus Juan Jose Arambula. We've got 2 files in front of me today. Counsel.
Lisa Coyle appearing on behalf of the people.
Right, on behalf of Mr. Arambula, waive the formal reading, stand mute. He has been advised of his rights, Judge.
Thank you, counsel. Court notes formal reading has been waived. Enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. Looks like the 2 cases in front of me today are in keeping with yesterday's theme, fleeing and eluding in the 3rd degree, and this receiving and concealing stolen motor vehicle. Counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. And I'm going to be asking for the same bond, $50,000 cash, tether, house arrest, if he is able to make those bonds on each case. I don't know if the court wants me to go through the recitation of what I had yesterday. I think the court read the reports and probably recalls, because this is a non-assaultive matter. This is an extreme showing of flight by just the mere amount of cases, and the type of cases they are. I can go through it again, Your Honor, if you would like, but that's what I'm asking: $50,000 cash, tether, house arrest.
Thank you. My memory from yesterday was that there were a number of fleeing and eluding charges floating around out here in various jurisdictions. And then I feel like there was a capious history somewhere in a case, but I can't remember exactly which one.
You are correct. There was a capious on case number 23-58070.
All right. Thank you. Defense.
And Judge, that's the one I think that is the case was Judge Jefferson. That is the capious bond. that last one. The other one, Judge, again, these are non-assaulted cases, Judge. So, obviously we are asking for some type of nominal bond. The bond on the other case was 50,000 cash. I would ask for something, Judge, more reasonable, and that there are non-assaultive. I do understand the dangerousness or the flight risk that the court may impose or think about, but I'm asking for something more nominal, Judge.
All right, thank you. According to, what I've been told about Mr. Aruma, what I read about Mr. Aruma, he takes extreme measures to avoid police, law enforcement, the progression of these cases. You'll have a chance to speak in a moment, sir. I don't see a capias on either of the files in front of me. I have them both in front of Judge Jefferson.
I
Well, Judge,
see on
one, he got- he-
August 9th of 23.
Right.
I see a 5,000 cash surety bond set by Judge Jefferson.
That is correct. Judge, he got shot that day, went to the hospital that day. That is the reason for the capias. He was at urgent care that day, Judge. He had a gunshot wound. So that's why he was not in court that day. So I just want to be clear on that, but that is a case.
Which case? Is this the fleeing or the receiving and concealing?
238-58070, which is
Receiving.
the receiving concealing. And in that case, he admitted that he stole the car to the officers.
Okay, well, if the capias has already been set in that case at 5,000 cash surety, that's where it will remain at $5,000 cash surety. Again, GPS tether is required with a curfew of 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. before leaving the jail. In the other case, $50,000 cash, GPS tether, curfew 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. All of this due to flight risk with respect to Mr. Aruma, who has still continued to raise his hand, counsel, Mr. Reagan, if you want to advise him.
I would ask that you don't say anything. I would ask that you don't say anything because anything you say on this camera could be held against you. I would just ask that you hold off on that, okay? Okay.
There will be a bond review hearing in front of Judge McConico or Judge Williams, May 1st, 2024. These still say McConico. I thought Williams is taking over May 1st, 2024. Then probable cause conference, May 8th. Preliminary examination, May 15th. Those latter two dates both in front of Judge Jefferson.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, thank you.